Imagine this. You have an Azure virtual machine and a storage account. You want that virtual machine to access the storage account securely, but you don't want to expose the storage account to the entire internet. So, how do you solve that problem? Hi there, this side Aarya. In this video, I'll explain Azure Service Endpoints in the simplest way possible. We'll first understand why Microsoft introduced them, what problem they actually solve, how they work behind the scenes, and then we'll jump into hands-on demo so you can see everything in action. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand service endpoints, but you'll also be able to confidently explain them in interviews, your certification exams, or use in your Azure environment. Let's start with a real-world scenario. Imagine you have a virtual machine and a storage account. Your virtual machine will reside in a VNet and a subnet, and your application is running inside the virtual machine, and your application need to store files in the storage account. So this looks pretty simple and everything looks fine. The VM can reach the storage account because the storage account has a public endpoint. If you go to draw.io, you'll see that the virtual machine have a private IP, it lives in a private subnet, and it needs to store the files in the storage account. It can directly reach it via public endpoint. That this public endpoint can be accessed from anywhere over the internet with this URL. But the problem here is that the storage account is also accessible from anywhere on the internet. Your laptop users can access the storage account. You can access it from mobile, basically any public network. Now, this doesn't mean that anyone can access your data. Azure authentication still protects it, but from a networking perspective, the storage account is publicly reachable. And many organizations don't like this approach. And often, for security and a better networking, we want our resources to be accessible only from the internal network. And this is the exact problem service endpoints were designed to solve. So before service endpoints existed, securing access to Azure services was much more challenging. Organizations had limited options, that is to leave public access enabled, or they had to manage a large IP allow list. They had to whitelist on the firewall and continuously, and often they had to update the firewall rules, and managing this at scale becomes difficult when you have multiple virtual machines. And Microsoft needed a simpler solution, and the solution was service endpoint. So what is a service endpoint? So by definition, Azure Service Endpoints allow resources inside a virtual network subnet to securely access Azure PaaS services, that is platform as a service, and identify themselves as coming from that subnet. So this Microsoft definition is confusing, and a simpler one will be a service endpoint tells PaaS service which subnet the traffic should be coming from. Now what will happen is when I enable a service endpoint on the VNet where my virtual machine is, the storage account will then allow the access only for this VNet and deny everything else. So this is the key concept. Storage account doesn't just see an IP address, it recognizes an Azure subnet from where the traffic can be coming from. And what would happen if the route was without any service endpoint? So without endpoint, the traffic will initiate from the VNet, and then the traffic will go from the Microsoft Global Backbone network, and from Microsoft Global Backbone, it can go to a public internet and then to a destination data center. And in the part B, we have the with endpoint. In the endpoint, what happens is all the traffic travels in the Microsoft Global Backbone network, and that is private to Microsoft. And in this case, the traffic initiates from the VNet and then reaches to the destination data center, and that all the traffic is within Microsoft Global Network. This traffic never touches the public internet. It remains entirely on Microsoft's private fiber network. That is, it has connectivity to all the data centers across the globe without ever going to public network. And if you want to know about the Microsoft Global Backbone Network, you can go to this page. In here you can see that how this global network works and how all the regions across the globe is connected. And this traffic is all internal, doesn't go to the internet, and is more reliable and secure. And let's see before service endpoint setup how the traffic flow was. So before the endpoint we had a source IP that will be public IP that was needed to connect to Azure PaaS service, right? But after service endpoint, the source IP can be private, that is your virtual machine or any other resource no longer needs to have the public IP. And now in this case, the storage account understands traffic coming from the private subnet, and also firewall rules becomes much simple. In the Azure Storage Account, you just have to define the subnet the traffic should be coming from, and that's it. So if you're still confused, we'll see in the demo how we'll set up everything from scratch, and that will make it more simpler and easy to understand. So this was how service endpoint works. And other important security concept that Microsoft came up was private endpoint. So in the service endpoint, the traffic is still going from the Microsoft backbone network and your SQL resource is public, but only accessible from your subnet. But in the private endpoint, your destination, your PaaS service, and your virtual machine, everything is private. So your resource cannot be accessed over the public internet and is more secure and give you features like network injection and DNS. We'll cover more regarding private endpoints in our upcoming videos. Now, let's do a quick demo, which will help you easily understand how this works and you can use it to configure in your environment. So we'll start by creating a resource group where we'll keep all our resources. We'll give region, then next, and create. Next, I'll create a virtual network. Let's search for VNet, then create one, then the virtual network name, then region, and then next, and then address space. Next, we'll go to subnet and we'll change the subnet name, subnet for application. That is where our virtual machine is going to be, and then the range for our subnet. Next, we'll leave as it is. Now, let's save and then next, and leave tags as it is, and next review and create. VNet is getting created. We'll create our virtual machine and we'll place our virtual machine inside this particular VNet. So I'll go to virtual machine and then create. In the virtual machine, same will give the subscription, the resource group, service endpoint demo, region, and rest I'll keep it simple. And I'll choose the Ubuntu image. Next, scroll below, choose the size and then the authentication type. I'll use the username and password. Next, we'll leave inbound ports to test the connectivity, and then next disk, leave as it is, switch to standard HDD. Then networking, we'll choose our VNet and subnet, right? And public IP I'll disable. Next, go to management, monitoring and review and create. Meanwhile, our virtual machine is getting created. Let's go to storage account. And in the storage account, we'll create our PaaS service for which we are going to enable the service endpoint. Next, leave as it is, go to networking. In the networking, we'll leave enabled for all as of now, and then go to next. Then security, leave as it is, and review and create. So now whatever name which we gave for the storage account will have the unique public endpoint created. So that means no other user can create the storage account with the same name. And when it's created, I'll show you the public endpoint from which we can access it publicly. Storage account is created. Let's go inside it, expand. To understand, now we'll go to networking. In the networking, we'll see all the options which we have to manage the access of the storage account. That is currently it has enabled from all networks. Anyone can reach the storage account endpoint. I'll go to manage and we can change how we want the access of this resource to be from here. To see the endpoint, I'll go back, I'll scroll down, and there is an option of endpoints. And dependent upon the service which we are using, like the Azure Blob service or a file, we can copy the endpoint. So in this case, our endpoint is this one. And if I copy this and go to the terminal, if I do the NS lookup to see the public IP, I will paste the endpoint and then remove the HTTPS to see the public IP where it resolves. I'll use the NS lookup command. So you can see that this particular endpoint resolves to this public IP to access. So the architecture now is we have the virtual machine in a subnet and have a private IP, and it will now access the storage account. The question now is that how can I allow only my subnet to access the storage account? So now to enable the service endpoint, we'll go to virtual network and then our subnet. And now you see an option of service endpoint and then select, then go to Microsoft.storage. That means your storage account. So we'll save. So what is happening now is that Azure has now extended identity of this subnet to the Azure storage. That is, it can utilize the Microsoft internal backbone network and not the public internet to access the storage account. So at this point of time, we have not restricted the storage account. We just enabled the service endpoint. Now to restrict the storage account, we'll go to storage account and then go to networking. Under networking, we have manage, and you can see the option public network access enable. With the service endpoint, we cannot disable the public network access because in service endpoint, public network access needs to be remain open, but the traffic allowed to this storage account will only be coming from your subnet. If it would have been private endpoint, which we'll see in the next videos, we can disable entirely the public network access and only allow private network to have complete security. But in this case, we'll go with enable from selected networks, and you can see allow service virtual networks to connect to your resource using service endpoints. So I'll add a virtual network which we created, and the subnet from where our virtual machine is, that is subnet app, then add, right? Next we'll go to save. Now earlier all these devices had connectivity to the storage account, but now only the subnet where our virtual machine is has connectivity to the storage account and all other traffic is blocked. Now we'll test the connection by going to the virtual machine and see if we can access it. To test the connectivity, we'll go to the virtual machine, and in the virtual machine, I'll go to serial console to access quickly. So we'll press the enter and use the username and password. Before checking the access, we'll go to storage account and create a file so that we can see the file is there from our virtual machine. So I'll add demo container. Now I'll go to this container, and you'll see one thing that as only the traffic coming from the subnet is allowed to the storage account and not any other traffic. So since my traffic is coming from my local laptop, it's not allowing me to see any details, right? I'll show you how we can enable this public IP also. So I'll allow my public IP to access this storage account. For that, I'll go to networking and then manage, and you'll see what is your public IP that will automatically pop up here. So I'll add simply and then save, and now I'll be able to see container and add a file. So I'll upload a file, upload a simple Python application. Now let's go back to virtual machine and to the serial console. Now to test the connectivity from the virtual machine to the storage account, I'll use this command, that is Azure Storage Blob download, our storage account name, then the container name, and then the file present in the container, right? And finally we have the storage account, which acts as the authentication part to the storage account. If I run this command, I should be able to see the file details. I can see the details like the demo container, container name, the content, when it was created, modified, or I can download also with the storage key. So this is how we can access it from virtual machine. And similarly, if you want to access it from our own local machine, since I have the my local laptop IP whitelisted in the storage account, so I should be able to see my public IP, right? And because of this, I should be able to access the same from my local. So if I do it from my terminal, paste the command and see if we can access. So I can similarly from my local laptop, I can see the details of the file, the data size, everything. And the reason why we can see this data is because two components are working together. One is networking and other one is authentication. For authentication, we have storage and other component is networking. Now if I remove my public IP, let's see if I can access it from my local machine. So I'll remove and then save. Let's go back to terminal and then let's access it again. So it's still accessing. Let's give it a minute. You can see now I'm no longer able to access even though I have the storage keys from which I can access entire storage account. Please check the network rules of the storage account. And the reason why I'm showing you the laptop way is because give you an idea how the networking feature works for the storage account. And similarly, the same concept we can use for other Azure PaaS services, whether it's a MySQL flexible server or a Key Vault or any other service where service endpoint is supported. We can use similar way to access the resources via service endpoint. So in this video, we saw how we can use service endpoints to allow access to PaaS resources from another Azure resource. This is secure, but the storage account still has public endpoint. What if you want to completely remove public access and use a private IP instead? So in the next video, we'll see Azure Private Endpoint and how we can completely eliminate public endpoint access to make it more secure and keep it to our own private network. So give a like and subscribe if you like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.